Hey guys, Komurasaki here. Yes, it is my giant bear. Today I'm going to talk about Kyoshiro the Protector. And I say this because I believe he is the protector of Komurasaki, the villagers throughout the land of Wano. He's very likely the witching boy. He's likely going to be a big part of the Kozuki clan and the alliance with the Straw Hats to take down Kaido and Orochi later on in the Wano Kuni arc here. So by now we all know that Komurasaki is actually Hiyori Kozuki. We have Momo making his reference that his sister would be about 26 years old if she's still alive. There's the reference that Hiyori's body was never found. Recently in chapter 932, when Orochi is talking about how Momo's body was never found, it pans over to Komurasaki and she's looking all sad. And although Komurasaki generally puts on a face that she's this tough, mean person, and there's that story with the old geezer where she's looking all mean and cruel, we see her being all nice to Otoko. So we know that she's got this good character deep down. If you guys want more details about why Komurasaki is Hiyori Kozuki, go ahead and check out my Komurasaki Secrets video. I'll put that up here. But moving on here, we actually find out in chapter 932 that Kyoshiro and Komurasaki come from the same territory. And as a matter of fact, Kyoshiro is known as kind of raising or bringing up Komurasaki to be the woman that she is today. So we know that there's close ties there. We also look back at when there was the story with the old geezer talking about his relationship with Komurasaki and how he fell deeply in love with her. We see at Komurasaki's residence, Kyoshiro is actually there, and they're in close ties. And Kyoshiro's saying, what are you doing here bothering Komurasaki? So he feels protective over here. We can see this presence. He is protecting her here. He was either, a lot of people speculate he was sleeping with her and that's why he was at her residence. I think that he's just generally around Komurasaki. He's kind of acting as a protector. And he has some secret ties to the Kozuki clan. He actually knows that Komurasaki is Hiyori Kozuki, but let me dive further into that here. So in chapter 919, we are introduced to Kyoshiro for the first time, and we don't know what to think about him. We know that he is making fun of the Shogun, and he's talking about how the Shogun is obsessed with this prophecy that's actually just a curse, and it's not actually true. But if you were Kyoshiro and you had ties to the Kozuki clan, you would actually not want to make people believe that they could come back and the prophecy is true. So you'd want to spread this word. He laughs at it, actually, and he's making people doubt Orochi, think Orochi's a joke. Obviously, we see in chapter 932 that Kyoshiro is greatly respected by his peers, and that Orochi's not. We're seeing Orochi being laughed at, and I think Kyoshiro's helping build this perspective of Orochi in a negative light here. So in chapter 932, we find out a lot about Kyoshiro's true character, and we find out that he's got these morals. Some people around him are talking about the women and how they're being used, essentially, and he's saying, don't view women as dogs or pets. That's not what they are. So you see, he's got this protective sense. This could also be related to Komurasaki here, but additionally, he talks about Komurasaki growing as a flower and people growing as a flower and how they need pure water to do this. And he's making a reference to the disparity among classes in the Wano land here. We're seeing all kinds of people throughout the Wano land. They don't have clear water. They're not able to grow. They're poor. They're struggling. They can't get a lot out of it, and they need these resources. Kyoshiro is pointing out this disparity, this big difference, and he's saying, look, I was able to give Komurasaki these resources, and look what she was able to grow into. He's a proponent for people having resources and being able to grow, and he's definitely against what Orochi's doing. When we see him drunk and we're introduced to him the first time, he's making fun of Orochi. He doesn't like the guy. He doesn't like what he stands for. We know that Orochi is the one putting all of these policies in place. So Kyoshiro is against Orochi, and at the end of 932, we see him draw his sword and say, this is about to be a bloodbath. I think that Kyoshiro has been planning for a long time to take down Orochi, and it's going to be pretty amazing to see here. I'm really excited to see how Oda breaks this up. I don't actually think he's going to show us in chapter 933. I think it's going to pan back to Luffy or pan back over to what Zoro's doing in Ibisu Town, show Law and Usopp and Frankie meeting up in Ibisu Town. Once again, Sanji's not going to be there meeting up with Zoro, so there's that whole build up of tension. What's going to happen there? Is Zoro going to leave the crew? Totally different video here. You can check that out as well, but really excited to see how this all turns out. So now I want to quickly talk about Kyoshiro and his possibility of being the witching boy. Yes, the Ox 3 boy. So everyone's trying to figure out who this is, and I want to bring up that Kyoshiro is a money changer in the land of Wano. That is his title. He has hands on money. With this, he comes from a respectable family. He's already got a bunch of money. So they're looking at him in Ibisu Town as a figure of Robin Hood. He's stealing money from the rich, giving down to the poor. I think that he actually just has money and he's spreading it down to the poor. We're already seeing his morals, like I said. He talks about pure water and how people need it to blossom like flowers. And I think he's the one going through. He's spreading it through the land. They say it's a samurai. Yes, he's got a sword. He's obviously talented with it if he's confident enough to draw it in the presence of Orochi and be a part of this bloodbath that we're going to see here. So excited. But with this, I want to talk about how in chapter 927, he sends assassins into the flower capital, and everyone's like, oh, isn't this going to cause a bunch of commotion? He doesn't care. He's not afraid to cause commotion because it gives him an opportunity, if he is the witching boy, to do his deeds, to go spread this, to have a distraction in place for him to do this. I want to point out that the timeline also makes sense. A lot of people are speculating that maybe Komurasaki is the witching boy, but I think this goes the exact same with Kyoshiro being the witching boy. They're talking about how Robin gave this excuse when she was cornered by the Oniwaban, and they were like, oh no, we know that the witching boy, it was actually just in the flower capital, so you're wrong. So I think this points to the fact that Kyoshiro could absolutely be the witching boy, and I think it'd be pretty cool if Oda played this in and had this foreshadowing in place, and it actually turned out that way. So now I want to talk about what is about to happen. We just saw in the end of chapter 932, Kyoshiro draws his sword and he says, this is about to be a bloodbath. And I think a lot of people are looking at this as just like, oh, there's a ninja over there, Orochi's here, Kyoshiro's here, it's going to be a bloodbath. I don't think so. I think Kyoshiro is strategic. He's obviously got this big, promising family backing him, and I think that some of them have been placed and are at this party, and they had this plan to begin with. Yes, Orochi attacking Otoko kind of brought this about, and he's like, well, now it's time. But I think he's had this plan for a long time. He obviously hates Orochi. He's been planning to overthrow him. Do I think he's going to be successful? Absolutely not. But I think this is kind of going to speed up the arc even faster here. Oda's been going so fast with the Wano arc. I think he's going to have Kyoshiro draw his sword, make an attack on Orochi. A ninja's going to drop down, block him. It's going to set up this whole plan for Brook saving Robin, them getting out of there, Nami heading out of there with Shinobu. I think everyone's going to be able to get out. No one's really going to die here. It's going to be a perfect situation where Kyoshiro and his troops are there. Maybe we'll see some of Kyoshiro's underling and family take the blame for this a little bit. But we know Kyoshiro's got a strong family. He's talking about his ties and how he'd never let them deal with a bunch of crap, and he's got their back essentially. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to make his move on Orochi. He's going to fail. Then he's going to team up with the Straw Hats. We're going to have some immediate allies. It's going to pan over to see what Zoro's doing. He's going to get in a couple samurai fights. They're going to gather some more allies here. Kinemon's going to have gone out and gathered allies. So we're starting to build troops for this final war that we're going to see against Kaido and his army, the Beast Pirates. Please comment down below, you guys. Really excited to hear what you think. Do you think that Kyoshiro actually is with Komurasaki, knows her secrets, has been protecting her? Komurasaki, of course, is Hiyori Kozuki, but what do you think is going to happen now? Kyoshiro just drew his sword at the end of 932. Do you guys think he's about to attack Orochi? He waited until Orochi changed forms to draw his sword, so I think this also implies, yes, he's about to attack Orochi. No, he's not going to sit back and be a part of Orochi's team and fight against him and help him take down little girl Otoko and Komurasaki, who's obviously not a big threat, as we can see right now. We know he's got these crazy ties with Komurasaki, so I think he's here to protect her. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Hit that subscribe button, you guys. Smash that little bell right next to it. Thanks so much. Have a great day.